M. Karen requests the entire wedding to stop the festivities so everyone can sing happy birthday for her son, at someone else's wedding, by user What Shoulda Kinbout. Stay with me folks as this tale has two cunty Karens. This happened at a friend's wedding I attended this summer. The newlywed couple had no idea that Karen number 1, M of the birthday boy, and their mom, Karen number 2, M of the groom, were scheming together to make a happy birthday request with the DJ as the lovely couple finishes cutting their cake. Not missing a single beat, the Karens winked at one another across the aisle and M number 1 abruptly hand signals the DJ for attention, and asks him to stop the music so the entire wedding would look over to her precious boy and sing happy birthday out loud to this grown-ass 38-year-old. The groom and bride had no idea and the looks on their face was of fume and confusion. The birthday boy had no fucking clue what just happened. I spoke up and said to Karen number 1 how embarrassing that would be if my mom did something like that to me and that she should not have take attention away from the newlyweds. She snapped at me and said with a smirly smile, "Well, this isn't for you now, is it?" I rolled my eyes and looked away silently after realizing I'm talking to a wall. 1 decade later, by user @PupFaceMPupperson. Facebook message. My high school/college ex's mother decided to message me after a decade. Funny enough, last I saw her in 2013, she hugged me and said thank you for keeping her son on the straight and narrow during college. I am happily married with an adorable toddler and haven't even had a thought about this woman. Guess I have been living rent-free in her head for the last decade though. Also, given her son nearly killed me by crashing into a cement wall at 60 miles an hour, while screaming at me, which broke my ribs, burned my leg from the engine coil coming into the passenger area, and required 2 back surgeries in my final year of college, pretty sure I dodged the bullet. M tries to make me her son's boyfriend, by user Mutsukiken. This happened about a year ago when I was 14 over winter break when I was on vacation in Japan, hence this will all be roughly translated from Japanese. I was at the park sitting by myself on a bench drinking hot chocolate and listening to music when this guy tapped me on the shoulder. For the sake of anonymity we'll call him Ethan. Ethan, hi. I was in the zone for listening to music so it took me about 10 seconds to register there was a human behind me. Me, hello. Ethan, sorry if this comes off as creepy but there's ice skating around here and I don't really want to go alone, would you mind going with me? I can pay for you. I looked at this kid for a second before agreeing. He was cute so I was surprised he didn't have anyone else do go with him. Me, sure, but do you mind if I ask my dad first? Ethan, sure, no problem. So I called my dad and he just asked me a few questions about the area, which I relayed on to him, then back to my dad a couple times. After my dad agreed we started walking and talking, though it was only like a 2-minute walk. We arrived, paid for ice skate rentals and started skating when suddenly I hear the voice of what seems to be a nice lady. Ethan sweetie, you forgot your gloves. She started running over to give them to him so I decided to do a lap to let them talk for a second when I hear Ethan yell to me. Ethan, Mitsuki. Come meet my mom. Me, sure. I skated over and as I did I noticed he was whispering something to her so then I skated over and she just kind of, looked at me. Looking at Ethan, why are you talking to this American girl? I told you, you can only date Asians, we don't need to tarnish the family name. I was surprised for a couple of reasons. 1, I may not be as Asian as they are, but it is obvious I am Asian. 2, he called me by name, Mitsuki, a very obvious, and fairly common Japanese name. 3, he called me over in Japanese, to which I replied, in Japanese. And yet with all of those she thought I couldn't understand her. I sat and listened for a second before the mom turned to me and said in the most thick Japanese accent I have ever heard. Leave my son alone. The son protested for a couple seconds before his mom gave that I'm gonna count to 10 look. I just looked at her dead in the eyes. Me, if you need to say something to me, at least make it understandable. Said in Japanese. Suddenly mom turned a shade of red I had never seen before, she stayed silent for a few seconds before looking at me. You speak Japanese? Me, yep, I am Japanese. Then you will be perfect for my son. Me, I'm sorry, what? This lady's entire personality just switched in a nanosecond from go away to date my son. You heard me, my son needs a girlfriend so he's not a loser in class, and a Japanese girl like you would do great. Me, I'm sorry but... I was instantly cut off, Ethan was just standing still. It doesn't matter, look at my son. He's so handsome. Ethan, Mom! Shut up! She doesn't want to, leave her alone. You brat! I'm just trying to help you so you don't end up as a disappointment like your older brother. They kind of yelled back and forth for a minute, while I sat there like a side character in a movie just watching. You'll date him, right? Me, I don't live in Japan. Also, I like women. I said that with 0% emotion because I was tired of this lady. No more words were exchanged. Ethan was dragged away while apologizing and telling me to just return the skates when I was done. Edit. After too long I realized I typed boyfriend and not girlfriend. Oops. My mother scapegoated me during my childhood, by user better necessary 138. She got me addicted to opioids when I was 13, she allowed my abusive stepfather back into the house 7 separate times after beatings. She insisted it was my fault because I wanted a dad. She kept my grandmother on life support because she was getting checks from the government. My sisters won't talk to me because of her. She tried to have both my children removed from my custody even though I adore them and was a really good mom. She stole my oldest college money out of the joint account she started for him, $16,000. He was so excited to get it out, then she gave him the silent treatment because he asked her why. She threw her dead husband under the bus saying he did it. He was internal affairs and captain on the local precinct. Recently she tried to kidnap my daughter from school. I could go on for days. My dad got a computer for his birthday, said that it was faster than my own, placed it in my room, won't take it back, by user so_what you doin'. My dad got a computer for his birthday from one of his friends who didn't need it. He said he'll use it for work purposes, and I can play games on it when it's free to use, even though I have my own properly built computer. Earlier today was the first time I used it. I found out that it can't even run YouTube properly and kicks you out of Netflix whenever you try to watch anything, and also has lots of hacked programs on it. Told this to my parents who said it wasn't true, and I'm just not grateful for being allowed to lend it from him. Keep in mind I have my own computer already. They are refusing to move it from my room and get angry at me whenever I mention this. Somebody help me please.